Hi, my name is Doug Higgins. It was a sincere pleasure and an honor to create this memorial video for my friend Johnny O'Boy. It's my hope that once you've watched this video, you'll feel inspired to visit Johnny's memorial website. While you're there, we'd love to hear about a personal story or an anecdote about you and Johnny. I'd love to post that on Johnny's tribute page. You can visit Johnny's memorial website by going to soberrun.com. Thanks for listening.
I'm Johnny O, an alcoholic. My sobriety date is August the 12th, 1968. I'm going to tell you, I've known Al for over 4 decades. But I'm going to tell you of a special event that took place in my life frequently. It's different than what so far the people have been talking about. Al wasn't my sponsor. He was just a good friend. Jack Colt was my sponsor. But my wife has a beauty shop in our home. And 2 of the customers were Bernice and Alice. That's Jack Colt's wife and Al's wife. And they used to meet there every Friday morning. It was the great event I had every Friday, because Al used to come with Bernice and Jack used to come with Alice. And Al sometimes would just leave Bernice and go to the Ilano West, and sometimes Jack did the same. But there were almost on a 50% basis, Al fell in love with my little dog. And my little dog was a little Jack Russell Terrier that loved Al. And in my backyard, I had a patio swing that fit 3 people. And then whenever I could, Al and I used to sit on that swing with my little dog in his lap. And we used to swing for an hour and a half while his wife was getting her haircut. And during that time, we used to share a great deal in AA history in this valley, and AA history in the whole. I used to sit between Jack and Al, and we just swung. And nothing to do with anything else except swinging in my backyard. I did that this morning, except the swing is gone. But that's how I remember Al. My little dog, his name was Molly, was so happy when Al came into the beauty shop that she'd wag her tail and try and draw him towards the swing almost every Friday morning. So if you remember Al about his great talks, I do. But it is more that I remember him as a quiet man with a dog in his lap, I was sitting between him and Jack. And there's another thing. I have a strange kind of mind. I think you all know that. And I think of things that nobody else thinks of. You realize that Al ended World War II in Korea? Do you realize that Jack ended World War II in Tokyo Bay on the destroyer? And they were only about 300 miles apart in 1945. I wonder if the good Lord was kind of getting them together in a different way. Just 300 miles apart. And yet they were almost 10 years apart before they got to know each other. They were both World War II veterans who served their country well and who have served Alcoholics Anonymous very well. Thank you.
And what's the last one? Do you guys know? Unconditional love.
At Sampson Air Force Base, I went to a USO dance, and I was very bashful. I didn't like that kind of thing, and I finally got my nerve to ask this little woman, I should say, if we could dance. And so we danced, and I probably stuttered my way through, and I got her phone number, and I put it in my little black book. And all jocks have a little black book. Mine had one name. That's all I could get. You know, and I'm 26 years old, so there's a problem there somewhere. I like drinking better, you know. In the middle of a bad snowstorm, I was the last car that got on the turnpike between Tulsa and Oklahoma City. It's only about 60 miles, and it shouldn't take you more than an hour, and you also shouldn't get there faster than an hour or they give you a speeding ticket. And I remember getting on, and they give you a ticket when you go through the gate when you get on, and you have to go through a gate to get off. I don't know really what happened was, somewhere along the line I had got some wine with me because I was saying the rosary the whole way and drinking wine the whole way. That's the problem. When I got off, when I pulled up to the station, I handed the guy the ticket. He put it in the machine and punched it, and he said, "Where the hell have you been?" "What do you mean, where have I been?" He says, "You've been here 24 hours. I was 24 hours going 60 miles. You know? There was one thing I always wanted to be, and I had not had the opportunity. I wanted to be a Hell's Angel. I didn't have a lot of money. So I bought a Honda 50 motorcycle. This is back in 1965. In 1965, a Honda 50 motorcycle would go about 30 miles an hour downhill. What I did was, because I had to have my day, I got me a black leather jacket and a black leather hat and Okinawa written on the back and a white band of my leather hat, and I tore up the streets of Los Angeles. I got 4 502s on a Honda 50 motorcycle. And you got to be good to do that, I can tell you right now. You know why I got them? Because I left the bars at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I was afraid to drive on the streets. So I would drive on the sidewalks. I was dirty. I had been on the streets for a long time, and I saw my kids come out into recess and play in the yard. And all of a sudden, as I'm watching them, my daughter Veronica spotted someone hiding behind a tree. And she started to come towards him. And it was me. And at an AA meeting, as I was telling this, she was in the audience and she remembered that time. That was depression at its worst. That was loneliness that few have known. It was bad. 15 or 16 or 17 street people sitting there when a meddling member of AA came along. He was the kind of alcoholic who works with wet drunks. He came along, and out of the 16 or 17 people, he picked me. Would you like to have a place to sleep tonight? And I went with him. And the next day, he took me to the Burbank group of Alcoholics Anonymous, August 11th, 1968. And I haven't had a drink or mind-altering drug from that moment.
Oh, Danny boy, the pipes are calling from glen to glen and down the mountainside. The summer's gone and all the roses are falling. It's you must go, and I must buy. But come ye back when summer's in the meadow, or when the valley's hushed and white with snow. It's I'll be in sunshine or in shadow. Oh, Danny boy, oh, Danny boy, I love you so. Oh, Danny boy, oh, Danny